One Fight Night 41, Sinsamut versus Jarvis has just ended, and this was actually a pretty good card despite not having a title fight in MMA or Muay Thai or kickboxing on it. There was the Tyrotolo Powell Jaroski submission grappling title fight, but for fans of the striking sports, this was actually a very good card. We'll start with the first match, which was Jeremy Miato versus Willy Van Rooyen. This one, Rooyen got the knockout, the technical knockout in round 3. The story of this fight was that Rooyen made Miato miss and then countered. For the first round, it looked like Miato was winning. He was showing his strong boxing skills, throwing a lot of overhand, I guess, hooks or kind of looping punches. Not really straight jabs, and he was landing. But in the second and third round, Van Rooyen really found a rhythm. He found more distance, or he was able to manage the distance better between him and Miato. So Miato would come in, miss with a few shots, maybe land, not a significant strike, but kind of graze Van Rooyen, who would then counter and was able to get a significant strike in on Miato. And there was some weirdness going on. Miato had there was an eye poke. Miato got eye poked, and he had a small hit to the cup, but those didn't take too much time. But yeah, Van Rooyen just kind of sucked Miato in and made him fall for his traps, and then counterpunched and did really well against him. So I had picked Miato, and it was just Miato wasn't connecting in the second and third round. So I was wrong on that pick. I was also wrong on Supergirl versus Hyu Iwata. Hyu Iwata got the knockout in I think it was 50 seconds. That was pretty incredible. She just threw really straight punches, really hard punches as well. It seemed like Supergirl couldn't get any hard punches or kicks out. But Hyu Iwata was striking really fast and really hard. And yeah, knockout in I think it was under a minute. I forget. Supergirl did retire after the match, but it really wasn't explained why. All right, moving on. So I got that one wrong. I did get this one right, but remember, should not be picking women's martial arts. I should not be picking it because those were two of the ones I got wrong. Marcus Aurelio versus Mauro Mastro Marini. This was a pretty good fight. Marcus Aurelio, if you saw his first fight against Carlo Bumina Ong, he looked somewhat strong, but Bumina Ong is just a bulldog, as his nickname implies, and was able to demolish him. But Aurelio was very strong in this fight, very elusive, lots of movement, threw some good punches, got the submission against Mastro Marini, and yeah, he came in to one undefeated, lost to Bumina Ong, who's a tough opponent. Mastro Marini now has 3 losses in one, I think, so he might get cut. 3 kind of been finished 3 times, so I kind of worry for him there. But Marcus Aurelio was looking strong. Vic Souza versus Anastasia Nikolakakos. I did not watch this one, but I guess I got it wrong. What I did watch was Hyu versus Suablack, and this was a great fight. Hyu got the TKO in round 1 with some nasty liver shots and shots to the body. This doesn't tell the full story, though, because Suablack was coming back from some really hard punches to the body. Hyu pretty much floored him in the first knockdown. I thought Suablack was done, but he came back. He got some good punches off himself, but they just weren't doing any damage. He needed 20 or 30 more of those to actually hurt Hyu. So despite getting some good punches, rocking Hugh's head back, Hyu, destroyed Suablack's body, and it was a good fight despite being over in the first round. I did predict this one correctly. I also predicted Lee Sung-chul to beat Fabio Enrique. It was a unanimous decision. Lee Sung-chul, strawweight MMA is so much fun to watch because those guys have a lot of energy. Those guys move around so much. They have good gas tanks, and that's what both these guys had. I think if one scored it, if one championship scored like the UFC, where they did by round, then Lee Sung-chul would have won all 3 rounds. Fabio Henrique had some good defense at some point, but he was on his back for a lot. Didn't win in the striking, didn't win in the grappling. Lee Sung-chul would have won all 3 rounds, but they judge it as 1 round, so he definitely won that for sure. Put Enrique on his back and did that for a while. Next up, I got this one wrong. John Lineker versus Ben Woolliss. Like I said, I did not know too much about Ben or anything really about him, but he finished Lineker with a nasty calf kick that just Lineker was not able to get up. Like, he just destroyed his calf. I don't know if Lineker broke something or what, but he tried standing up. He could not stand up. I thought Lineker, was probably going to lose the first round after I saw it, just because Ben Woolliss had good distance management and Lineker's a lot shorter. That can be tricky in kickboxing, a little bit easier in MMA, but Lineker did not see that one coming. It's unfortunate because, I like John Lineker. Ty Rotolo versus Paul Jaroski. I don't think I'm saying his name right, but this was also a good, entertaining submission grappling match. I usually don't like these as much as the others, but they both got catches. I don't remember when. No, I think the Powell got a catch later in the match. Forget what type of submission he was going for. But Ty Rotolo just, you never bet against the Rotolos, so strong performance from him. But what I really want to talk about was Sinsumet versus George Jarvis. This was a great match as well. George Jarvis clearly won, in my opinion, all 3 rounds. Sinsumet has some powerful strikes, but George Jarvis had better timing. He threw more strikes. I wasn't counting, but it felt like he threw a lot more strikes. I think it was in round 2 when he really, it was round 2, towards the end, he really hit Sinsumet hard, got a spinning back elbow, wobbled him. There was no knockdown. Neither fighter got a knockdown, but Sinsumet was very close to being knocked down. He was on really wobbly legs. Jarvis was basically playing with him, using him as a punching bag in round 2, and kind of evaded him for a little bit in round 3, and then turned up the punching power in round 3. Taunted him a little bit, which was fun to see. But yeah, as I predicted, George Jarvis would win this. I thought Jarvis was going to get a knockout. But yeah, good match. I don't know if they should give him a title shot next and face Rahian Ursel again. Seems like he needs maybe one more match before that. But he looked very strong in this match. Took a little bit of damage under the eye, but overall, I think he could probably come back fast, have another fight in a couple of months. So this was a good card. I would rate it. What would I rate it? Let's see. Wait, how many did I get right? So I got 1, 2. How many fights were on the card? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 out of 9 right, but if I stuck to my gut and didn't try to predict the women's fights, I would have had a higher ratio. What I didn't see coming was Ben just taking out Lineker's calf. That was definitely bad. And then Miato's boxing looked good, but Willie Van Rooyen had a better game plan, it seemed like, in the last 2 rounds. But yeah, what would I rate this card? I think it was a solid, 7 out of 10. We had a lot of finishes. I think the only thing we didn't have a finish in was this one here. And then the last, so 6 out of 9 fights ended in a finish, but the Jarvis Sinsumet fight was very good. So was this submission grappling one. So good stuff from one championship. Let's preview what's coming up for one. We got One Friday Fights 147. They haven't put the full card on yet. Guys got to get on to that. What about One Fight Night 42, Ursul versus Rungwari? Let's see who's on this one. Rahian Ursul. Chase Mann versus Jabir Jabrailov. That should be fun. Welterweight MMA. We don't get too much of that. Gilbert Nakatani's back. I like that. He's always fun to watch. So they haven't announced all the fights yet for this one. I hope that's not all. And Diego Paez versus Black Panther. That should be interesting. Okay, well, I'll reserve my predictions for another time on those. But thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.